superstars, you're welcome to this real estate for beginners class. In today's real estate class, we'll be talking about ownership verification. In our last video, I mentioned that there are a series of verification you need to carry out on a land or property to ascertain the authenticity of that property before paying for it. You don't just see a property and just swing to making transfers without knowing certain things, before verifying certain things to be sure that it is genuine. Okay, so in our last video, we spoke about verifications you carry out right from when you are going to that property. This included looking out at the terrain and other things. So my superstars, go and check it out. Alright, so today we'll be talking about ownership verification. Before paying for a property, be it land or a house, you need to be sure of the owner. You need to carry out ownership verification. This includes lots of things which I'll be expatiating in this video. By the end of this video, you should be able to know how to carry out ownership verification on a property before paying for that property. Okay, my superstars, so let's get started. So in carrying out ownership verification, you need to know that one could have a property through two ways. It could either be bought or it could be a family inherited property. So before carrying out ownership verification, you need to know the exact owner or owners of the property. If it's a personal property, it could belong to just one person. But if it is a family property, it will belong to two or more people. If it's inherited, it could be inherited, given as an inheritance to one person. That means only one person could own the land. But if it is a family inheritance, it means that so many siblings could own that property. It could be 4 siblings, 5, 10, depending on how large that family is. So in carrying out the ownership verification, you need to have this at the back of your mind. Who owns this property? The owner must come out. Be it one person or a group of persons, they must be actively present before purchasing that land. All right, my superstars. If it's one person who owns the property, it is very easy because that person will give consent. But if it is an inherited property, then the siblings must all be available and they must give united consent for that land to be sold. So before paying for that property, you have to go about in that community and ask questions. You need to go meet few people and ask, who owns that property? Who are the members of that family? How many brothers or sisters are there? Okay, you need to know the number, and from there you ensure that every one of them is present and have unanimously given their consent and readiness to sell that property before you pay for it. If one person somewhere is not involved or is not aware and that property is sold, that's problem. The person could wake up or come back from wherever he or she was and say that she did not give go ahead to sell that property. And from there, series of court cases will emerge, series of family cases will emerge after you've paid for the property. So in buying family lands or inherited properties, you need to be sure that everyone who is involved in that family is present and give unanimous consent before you pay for that property. Okay, my superstars. So let me tell you a story about this. There was a particular property that a family wanted to sell. The few people that were available on ground came together and sold the property without the knowledge of one person. Few years after, when the person came back and said, where's the property? They said it was sold. And he was like, who asked you people to sell? That was the beginning of problems. The person who bought the land was called upon and asked to stop building. And series of court cases emerged and all that. And at the end of the day, it was decided that the money will be returned to the person who paid for the property and the land will be taken back, will be retrieved. So my superstars, before paying for a family property, you have to do thorough homework. Ensure that all the siblings are available. Yes, if it was a willed out property, make sure you see the will and the people who own the property, who were willed out the property. And also ensure that everyone is present and give their unanimous consent before you buy a family inherited property. If it was willed out to one person, ensure that the family has given out a consent for that person to sell out that family property. Because some family properties are willed out to children with the hopes that they will build on the property and live on it. So before selling out, before buying that property, you need to ensure that the family has given consent for that particular sibling to sell out his or her property to an outsider to come and build and live there. Okay, my superstars, this can be quite tedious. It could take lots of days, but be patient to avoid future problems. All right, my superstars. Okay, next is you have to look for the youth leader of that community. We have youth leaders in every community, in every living setup. There are people they call youth leaders there. So you need to look for the youth leader of that community. Have a talk with that youth leader. Ask questions about that property. Who are the owners? Is there any dispute in that property? Is it a disputed property? Have they all agreed to sell that property? You need to sit the youth leader down and ask questions. Okay, ask for the youth leader and be sure it is the youth leader and ask genuine questions about that property before you continue. Next, you will have to look out for the village head. You need to go see the village head. You don't go empty-handed, my superstars. You could go with a drink and an envelope to appease the village head and ask questions. Ask questions about that property, the family and all that. He could even call the family to come to his court, and from there he will ask questions so it could serve as a witness. The youth leader needs to be aware, the village head needs to be aware, so that whatever happens they could serve as witnesses that the family had unanimously agreed to sell that property. I mentioned a case where there was also a case like that where someone bought a property and a few years after the family said they were not ready to sell. But do you know what saved the person who bought that property? Before now, the person had met with the village head and the youth leader. So when the case came up, the person ran to the village head and the village head served as a witness and said, no, it cannot happen. This is what happened. This is what happened. And in no time, the case was solved. Okay, so this youth leader and village head have to serve as witnesses in certain cases if it is a family property. Yes, if it is a family property, but if it is a personal property, most of those things, the village head may not necessarily be involved, the youth leader may not necessarily be involved. All you have to do is carry out questions around people around you to be sure that you are buying from the exact owner of that property. Okay, my superstars. All right. One of the things you need to verify is the agent who's taking you to that property. The agent must be a trustworthy person and a person of good character. Some people just wake up one day, they see a property, they'll run around, sell it, and disappear. Yes, so whatever problems you incur in the process of owning the property, it's not their business. You won't even see them again. They've made their money and disappear. So before buying a property, you need to find out details about that agent, the person who took you to that property. Is the person a real estate agent? Is the person trustworthy and of good character? Is the person honest? And is the person worthy? Okay, so these are the things you look out for before buying any property. The agent who takes you to that property is very, very important. What does that person have to lose? Does that person have anything? There are people who don't have anything to lose. Okay, they're just there to make quick money and disappear. But there are people who do not joke with their integrity, who do not joke with their name, who are building a brand, so you can be sure that these people will be very reliable and trustworthy and will not expose you to losses via land. So these are the sort of people you should deal with. Okay, my superstars. Alright, before giving out any property, we carry out thorough research before taking anybody to any property, knowing that we are public figures. Should anything happen, they will always bounce back to us. Okay, so we are very, very careful before giving out properties and pointing people in the direction of anything. So that's one of the things you need to find out before investing in that property. Okay, so if you have any questions so far, please leave it in the comment section and I will get right back to you. And my superstars, please like and share this video. Share it to your friends who have plans to buy properties or who want to go into real estate business in Nigeria, as this will serve as a guide. It will help that friend or family member from making mistakes in real estate business. Okay, my superstars. All right, come on, share, hit the share button. I'm waiting. All right, thank you, my superstars. And please write in the comment section if you love this kind of content. Say bring more, right? Bring more. Okay, as this will encourage me to bring more contents on real estate business in Nigeria. All right, if you have not subscribed, please take a second to hit that subscribe button, like and share this video. Thank you. Till our next video, always and always remember that I love you. Bye, superstars.